Part 1 of this two-part series ended with me finishing up at the Big Trestle at mile 14.6 in the morning. So I'm going to continue this hike westward, but first let me show you where we are. Here's the location of my hike, Vancouver Island on the west coast of British Columbia. The red circle is the rough area, that's Cameron Lake. Here's a closer look at the railways in the central Vancouver Island area. The E&N's Port Alberni subdivision goes from Parksville on the right side to Port Alberni on the left. And Cameron Lake is right in the middle in that red circle. Here's a close-up of Cameron Lake with Highway 4 on the bottom shore and the railway on the top side of the lake. On the far right, that red circle is my start and end point of my hike. That's a roadside pullout between two small creek bridges next to Highway 4. On the far left is my turnaround point, about mile 16.1. Those red circles are the bridges and trestles that I encounter along the railway. The true bridge is on the far right, that's Little Qualicum River, and the rest are timber frame trestles. And one of them is actually two because it's separated by a small bit of land. There's the entirety of my route, out and back. I started about mile 12.3, turnaround is about 16.1. That's 7.6 miles return, works out to be about 12.2 kilometers. But all of that was going to be too long for just one video, so I needed to split it into two. So this is part 2. Part 2 starts at the west end of the Big Trestle at mile 14.6 and continues on to my turnaround at mile 16. That's the yellow portion. And then I head all the way back. That's the purple line, going all the way back to the start at Highway 4 roadside. Here's the pile of timbers. And let's keep going westward. So I'm about mile 14.6. I want to go to mile 16. We'll see if that happens. This next bit, again, lots of broom, lots of straightaways. And pretty soon I'll come upon the area where the really big boulders came crashing down in late 2021, and I'll see if there's more. Oh, but first this. You know, it's taller than me. Filled with dew and water from the rain. Okay, here comes Big Rock Alley up here. That's not a big rock though. The big ones are up ahead. Here's some more little guys. Yeah, you start to notice more and more. There's one down there. This little medium guy there. Oh yeah. And there's more. Depending on the light on the mountainside, the sunlight and clouds and all that, when you're driving Highway 4, the scar way up there is quite apparent or not. So it looks like it changes from day to day, but it's really just how the light is hitting it. But there definitely is a scar where a lot of stuff let go, but not a bunch of dirt, just big rocks that came tumbling down this far. This is the one with the BFR. Big effin' rock right there. Hey, there's another big effin' rock. From there, but actually from way up there. Again, just over a year ago these came down. Give or take a few months. I'm getting to the end of this straight stretch past the rocks, and here, mile 15 sign. So let's continue westward. Again, my target is mile 16. About mile 15.2, I'm about to do the curve that then curves around a big rock bluff outcrop, and yeah, then back into the woods. But first, that curve, and then the rocks. There, now you know what's coming up. Here is the big rock outcropping that we go around. And yeah, every time I go past here, I wonder about whether this was just a landmark for the train crews going through. I don't know. Looking across the lake, I can see traffic in that gap across the far side of the lake. But for me in the railway here, lots of broom, but I'm going to be going back into the woods pretty soon, just at the end of this straight stretch here. Looking back at where I came from, there's the big rock bluff. And I always like to note the box here. The box used to contain a bunch of grease cans that were used to feed the little grease boxes that you see about every 1 mile along the railway. That greases parts of the rail car wheels. Here I am about mile 15.5, 15.6. Something on a tree down there. I'm just going to zoom in. First, I thought it was maybe an insulator from telegraph line, but no, it's a piece of metal cookware, like a pot, just stuck to a tree. This section between mile 15 and mile 17 is full of some pretty cool graffiti. Or just messages. Life of love. Further on down are some grease boxes that are adorned with musical treble clefs. Looking back, lots of encroaching trees there, and the branches are filled with dew, and my face is wet. My eyeglasses have water on them now. Yeah, if you were walking through here and you wanted a comfortable, safe walk under these conditions, you're looking for a dry day in winter with not a lot of rainwater on the foliage, not a lot of dew, and no ticks. Either way, it's just not a comfortable walk here. I'm doing it because I haven't seen this for 9 months and I'm curious, but this is where perhaps the once a year checkup. Up ahead, the windfall across the top marks the spot for mile 16. Oh, look at this. We got more of this fun broom. I gotta put the camera away, otherwise my lens gets all wet. Well, it's good to be here again. This spot here has had broom cut back by good people that use this place for recreation use. I appreciate them. They also cut back a lot of the, or cleared a lot of the windfall trees, and even moved some rocks. Good people taking care of this place because they like moving through it. And here's milepost 16 on the left. The sign is gone, but the post remains. It's a good spot for me to take a short break, change my batteries, and break time's over. Some fog is rolling in a bit more. Makes things interesting visually. And I'm heading westward just for a bit. Heading to my tree. And you'll see what I mean when I get there. And here's my tree. So the first time I ever came here was from the other direction, and this tree wasn't cut up then, so it was on the ground blocking, and it became my turnaround. And then about a year ago, some good people cut it up, and when they were clearing windfalls, and I'm thankful for that. They also left a pretty cool message. She can still read. Hello, low light. Mike, that's me. I'm thankful for that. Okay, my turnaround. Time to head back eastward. It took me 3.5 hours to get out here. And that's just, hey, it's less than 4 miles. That's slow going. It's not because I was taking lots of photographs, that's for sure. It's just all the slow going with the broom. I haven't shown you all the bad broom, but trust me, it's been bad and wet. And on the way back, I'm not going to record everything that I did on the way out. I'm just going to show mileposts, trestles, and hey, if I see a bear or a cougar or a Sasquatch, then I might include that too. Milepost 16. Hey, we were just here. There's so much foliage on the ground, and vines and bits of broom that are easy to trip over, and I just about tripped. Well, I did get my foot caught. I did not go down, thankfully. But yeah, a reminder to watch every step. Yet another reason why this is not an easy place to walk. Until next time, mile 16, probably from the other direction because it's much easier. Here is the maintenance set on, set off area, about mile 15.8 or so. Still a bit of wood, but more and more of it rots away every time I'm here. Here's the group of grease boxes. Deserves a view. Yeah. It's another old box that used to hold grease boxes. Big box for little boxes. Here's the mound of metal work. All those thingies. Here's a bunch of donor plates. Pile of those. Yeah, and of course the blue pail. This scene is typical. Got broom that I'm dodging in the tracks, and I got trees encroaching on either side. Yeah. And on a day like this, with all the dew and recent rain, makes for a very wet day. Oh well, at this point, you know, once you get completely soaked, you don't care anymore, and then you just walk right through it, not caring. But you stop to notice things like this. That's really nice. Big rock right here, lots of nice moss. More big rock up ahead. Here around maybe mile 15.5, something like that. Here's a nice spot around mile 15.7 or so. Lovely view at the mountain with the clouds moving around. I'm doing the voiceover because my microphone messed up when I was in the field because of all the moisture. I didn't realize that until now, processing it. This is 5 times sped up. Look at the mist below as well as on the mountainside. Pretty nice. Here's a place where there's a bit of an earth landslide, gravel slide. This shows you again the height of it. Step on up over. I wonder how continuous this is. You know, probably gives a bit every time there's a really bad atmospheric river rainstorm. Probably gives some more coming on down here. That's just my guess. Yeah. That's why I like these hikes. They show how things change just because of the passage of time and what happens with the weather. All those impacts. Hey, I got more broom. But just to show it's not all bad, this is a really nice pleasant section here, about mile 15.3, 15.4, something like that. So there is some nice lovely walking as well. Here's an example of just some of the large rock alongside the railway that the railway had to blast out to get past. I just like it. It's so large and interesting with the textures and the moss. Milepost 15 is just getting harder and harder to see. Yeah, what am I shooting? Oh yeah, these guys. Yeah, these guys are pretty cool too. Right in the middle, cradled by the rails. I like that rock. It looks cool. Maybe like a big sea lion or something. Being held up by the trees, maybe. I'm just a bit west of the Big Trestle, coming up to it now. Here's the stockpile of bridge timbers at the west end of the big mile 14.6 trestle that I'm approaching right now. I'm always happy to see this. Oh yeah. The trestle is tall. I'll show you a side view that I took a few years ago. Yeah, I'm not going down there today. And here's the view I got right now coming back. Early afternoon. Still low cloud. What a lovely place. So let's look down. Okay, we've got some gaps with rotten ties, but I'm above the stringer beams, so I can step onto those. Yeah, let's take a look at the other stringer beam there. Pretty solid, just like the one that I'm on. Okay, let's walk and take a look at the view. Ah, the lake, the color of the water is magnificent. Oh, and I got reflection. Yeah, what a beautiful scene. Bit of light rain falling now. Okay, until next time, mile 14.6 trestle. It's been fun today. Yeah, nice. And we emerge out of the broom and trees at the mile 14 trestle. Nice. Here's me walking back towards my camera and tripod. What a difference these ties are compared to the last trestle and the ones coming up. Here's the recent Rockfall about mile 13.85, just before the short trestle. That's just looking up. Yeah, more of it's going to come down. Earth, rock, trees. Here we are at the trestle. This is the shorter one of the twin pair. So here is the mile 13.8 trestle. I'm going to cross it carefully, making sure I'm walking above the stringer beams. It's just a short, simple trestle. It's only interesting because of how decayed the ties are. And here I am approaching the little bit of land between the two trestles. There's the next one, but first let's take a look back. Yeah, I was just there. So here's the mile 13.7 trestle, and there's lots of gaps like this. This is the most pronounced one right at the west end. Yeah, that's what it looks like. And here's the funny story. Because of all the condensation, whenever I took my lens cap off, there was a foggy lens, and so it took a while for the fog to lift off the lens. So I sped it up. Okay, now to walk this beast. I'm going to go left side stringer. That's where my feet are. Hey, you get a bit of a view of the timber frame bent down there. And that's what my feet are doing. Easier for me to walk on the outside. Yeah, here's a gap. Look at that. Fire barrel platform. That crashed down a couple years ago, a year and a half ago maybe. People probably jumping on it. But yeah, the timbers were pretty poor shape beforehand, so it was just waiting for something like that to happen. Turn around and give you the classic view. Well, I was here 6 hours ago at 8 a.m. It's now 2 p.m. Time for me to keep heading back to my car. Okay, until next time, mile 13.7 Trestle. I feel like I'm walking into some other dimension when I walk into Broom like this. It's like, okay, here we go. At least it's not hitting me in the face yet. Oh yeah. Here's the site of the milepost 13, just lying down after it had been found by someone. And yeah, I gave it another look over in the good light. Hey, anytime there's an intact milepost, even if it's lying down, it's a good thing. And right beside the tracks, and on the opposite side, just a ways down, are the switch points for what was the west end of the Cameron Lake siding, which tells me that is mile 13. And a little ways further east, that's what the Cameron Lake siding looks like. It's in the trees beside the main line. Here's the site of the Cameron Lake water tower, and the concrete foundations are now what the rails are resting on. They're covered in moss. Okay, keep going eastward. Station sign. Walking Cameron Lake siding here. 10 miles an hour. I have no problem complying with that slow order. Looking back towards Cameron Lake, you can see the siding goes off to the right. Here's the switch stand. And I can hear the little Qualicum River off on my right. That's the river that drains Cameron Lake. And soon I'll be at the railway bridge over that river. A little Qualicum River, and then there's a creek flowing in as well under the highway. Here we go.